My name is Sophia Martinez, and I'm 28 years old. They say every bride has a wedding horror story, but mine started 8 months before I even walked down the aisle. My cousin Elena didn't just try to upstage my wedding. She literally stole it. What she didn't know was that I come from a long line of women who know how to turn catastrophe into triumph. It was a Thursday afternoon when everything unraveled. I was at work, finalizing a project presentation, when my phone rang. The Willowbrook Estate, my dream venue where my parents had gotten married 30 years ago. Ms. Martinez? The event coordinator sounded confused. I'm calling to confirm your request to move your wedding from Saturday, June 15th to Tuesday, June 18th. I nearly dropped my phone. I'm sorry, what? You called yesterday saying you needed to change the date. You said Tuesday would work better for your tax situation. I never called you, I said slowly, my heart starting to race. But you did. You even confirmed your security questions. You knew your deposit amount, the menu selections, everything. I gripped the edge of my desk. What exactly did I say? You were very apologetic about the inconvenience. Said Tuesday was the only day that would work now. Then you mentioned your cousin Elena was looking for a Saturday in June. And wouldn't it be perfect if she could have your original date? The room spun. Elena, my cousin who'd been engaged for 3 years but couldn't find the perfect venue. Who'd made snide comments about Willowbrook being a bit much for someone like me. Who'd had access to all my wedding planning details because she'd insisted on being a bridesmaid. Is the change finalized? I asked carefully. Well, yes. Your cousin Elena called an hour after you did and put down a deposit for June 15th. She was so excited, said it was fate that the date opened up. I took a deep breath. Then another. I see. And there's no way to reverse this. I'm afraid not. Ms. Elena Rodriguez's deposit is non-refundable, and we have your recorded call agreeing to the change. My recorded call, I repeated. The one where I sound exactly like myself and know all my personal details. Yes, is there a problem? No, I said calmly. No problem at all. Thank you for confirming. I'll see you on Tuesday the 18th. I hung up and sat in silence for a moment. Then I called my fiancé, Marcus. She did what? He exploded when I told him. She stole our wedding venue, I repeated. Pretended to be me, moved our date, and took it for herself. We're calling her right now. Better yet, I'm driving to her apartment. No, I said firmly. We're not. Sophie, she can't get away with this. She won't, I promised. But we're going to handle this my way. Do you trust me? He paused. Always. What do you need me to do? First, we act normal. Not a word to anyone, especially not family. Second, call your brother in Monterey. Ask him if that beach property offer still stands. The Cliff House? For the wedding. For the wedding. I heard him smile through the phone. I love you, you know that? I love you too. Now let's plan a wedding that'll make Willowbrook look like a conference room. The next few months required Oscar-worthy acting. Elena called me the day after the venue switch, voice dripping with fake sympathy. Sophie, I just heard what happened with your date change. Tax things are so complicated, aren't they? So complicated, I agreed pleasantly. Well, I have amazing news. Willowbrook had a cancellation for June 15th. Can you believe it? It's like fate. Wow, Elena. What are the odds? I know. I hope you don't mind. I mean, you did say Tuesday works better for you now. Tuesday's perfect, I lied. I'm so happy for you. She paused, probably surprised by my easy acceptance. Really? Of course. Every bride deserves her dream venue. You're the best, Sophie. Hey, since we're both using Willowbrook, maybe we could share vendor contacts? Save some money. And there it was. She didn't just want my venue. She wanted my entire wedding aesthetic. That's so smart. I'll send you everything. After we hung up, I immediately called my vendors, the ones I'd spent months carefully selecting. My photographer, David, who'd shot my engagement photos. My florist, Marie, who'd designed the most stunning wildflower arrangements. My caterer, Jorge, who'd created a custom menu based on my grandmother's recipes. I need to tell you something, I said to each of them. But I also need your discretion. They all reacted the same way. Shock, then anger on my behalf. She stole your venue? Marie gasped. Your cousin. She did. And she's going to contact you to book services for June 15th. I need you to accept. Sophie, hear me out. Accept her booking. Be professional. But I'm also moving my wedding to a beach ceremony in Monterey on June 15th. Same date, different location. I'll pay you double your rate if you choose my wedding over hers on the day. David the photographer laughed. You don't need to pay me double. I know which wedding I'd rather shoot. But make it look legitimate, I added. Take her deposit. Schedule meetings. Just have emergencies on June 15th. Family emergencies are so unpredictable, Jorge mused. Food poisoning too. My van might break down, Marie added with a grin. Terrible timing. One by one they all agreed. Not for the money. I was their original client, and loyalty mattered in the wedding industry. Plus, they all seemed personally offended by Elena's deception. Meanwhile, I threw myself into planning the beach wedding. Marcus's brother owned a stunning cliffside property in Monterey with a private beach. The ceremony site was a natural amphitheater of rocks and cypress trees, with the Pacific as our backdrop. Instead of Willowbrook's formal gardens, we'd have the wild beauty of the coast. Instead of chandeliers, we'd have string lights and stars. Instead of a stuffy ballroom, we'd have a reception under a sailcloth tent with the sound of waves as our music. It was going to be perfect. More perfect than Willowbrook ever could have been. Elena, meanwhile, became insufferable. She'd post on social media about her venue, sharing photos from my Pinterest board. She hired a wedding planner, with my money, essentially, since she was using the deposit I'd lost, and made sure everyone knew how exclusive Willowbrook was. Poor Sophie, she'd say at family gatherings. Having to settle for a Tuesday wedding. But some of us just have better luck with venues, I guess. I'd smile and nod. You're so right. Luck is everything. My mom was the hardest to keep in the dark. She knew something was off. Mija, she pulled me aside at Easter dinner. Why are you so calm about this? Elena stole your venue. Everyone knows it, even if no one's saying it. Do they? I asked innocently. She studied me, then smiled slowly. You're planning something. I'm planning a wedding, Mom. On a Tuesday? Would I ever get married on a Tuesday? Her smile widened. That's my girl. As June approached, Elena's smugness reached new heights. She sent me an invitation to her wedding, on my original date, at my venue, with my color scheme. The audacity was almost admirable. I know it might be hard for you to come, she said when she handed it to me. Given, but your family. I wouldn't miss it for the world, I said truthfully. 2 weeks before the wedding, things started falling apart for Elena. It began with David the photographer. I'm so sorry, he told her. My daughter's graduation was rescheduled. I can't miss it. Then Jorge. Food poisoning. My whole team. We can't risk contaminating your reception. Marie was creative. My van was in an accident. All my supplies were destroyed. I'm devastated. The DJ had a family emergency. The makeup artist got pink eye. Even the officiant came down with laryngitis. Elena called me hysterical. Everyone's canceling. A week before my wedding. Oh no, I said, putting on my concerned voice. That's terrible. What are you going to do? I don't know. Do you have any backup contacts? For my Tuesday wedding? I'm all set, but I don't think my vendors work weekends. She hung up on me. Later, I learned she'd scrambled to find replacements. The only photographer available was someone who usually shot pet portraits. The only caterer was a food truck that specialized in tacos. The florist she found worked primarily in funeral arrangements. June 15th dawned perfect in Monterey. The marine layer burned off early, revealing crystal blue skies. The ocean sparkled like scattered diamonds. I stood in the cliff house, surrounded by my real bridesmaids. Elena had been quietly uninvited months ago, watching Marie arrange the wildflowers I'd actually chosen. You look radiant, my mom said, adjusting my veil. Not the cathedral-length Elena had mocked, but a fingertip veil that wouldn't compete with the ocean breeze. I feel radiant, I said honestly. David was already capturing the getting-ready moments, having arrived early from his daughter's graduation. Jorge's team was setting up the reception tent, none of them suffering from food poisoning. At exactly 2 p.m., as I was touching up my lipstick, my phone buzzed. A text from my aunt. Elena's wedding is a disaster. The flowers are funeral wreaths. The photographer keeps trying to make her meow. I turned off my phone. The ceremony was everything I'd dreamed of and more. Marcus waited for me at the altar made of driftwood and white roses, the ocean singing behind him. Our 100 guests, the ones who really mattered, sat on white chairs arranged in a semicircle. Instead of processional music, we had the sound of waves and a single acoustic guitar. Instead of stiff formal vows in a historic mansion, We promised to love each other with sand between our toes and salt air in our lungs. "You are the most beautiful, devious woman I've ever met," Marcus whispered as we kissed. "You haven't seen devious yet," I whispered back. The reception was magical. Twinkling lights strung between poles danced in the ocean breeze. Jorge's food was perfection. Every dish a tribute to our heritage and our future. The dance floor was set on the sand, and nobody cared about their expensive shoes. Around 10 p.m., as we were cutting the cake, 3 tiers of lemon and lavender, not the 5-tier monstrosity Elena had ordered, my phone started buzzing with messages. Elena had posted on Facebook, "When vendors ruin your special day, considering legal action." Below were photos that looked like a Pinterest fail compilation. Funeral wreaths spelling out "Rest in Peace," rearranged to say "Best Wishes." The food truck in the elegant Willowbrook driveway. Her makeup, which appeared to have been done by someone who'd only worked on corpses before. The comments were brutal but predictable. "This is what happens when you steal karma. Maybe it's a sign. Didn't this venue belong to someone else first?" I showed Marcus. He nearly choked on cake laughing. "Should we tell her?" he asked. "Tell her what?" I said innocently. "That I had a beautiful beach wedding on a Tuesday? That would just be rubbing it in. Except it wasn't a Tuesday. Our marriage certificate clearly showed Saturday, June 15th. The same date Elena had stolen. The same date I'd taken back in my own way. The truth came out eventually, of course. Social media made it impossible to hide. Our photographer posted a sneak peek with the caption, "Sunset Beach Wedding, any venue." My mom, after a few glasses of champagne, shared a photo with the comment, "My daughter knows that the best revenge is a life well lived. And a wedding well planned." Elena called me the next day, screaming about betrayal and manipulation. "You planned this," she accused. "You made all my vendors cancel." "I didn't make anyone do anything," I said calmly. "They chose which wedding to work. Just like you chose to steal my venue." "I didn't steal." "Elena, you called pretending to be me. The venue has a recording." Silence. "How long have you known?" she finally asked. "Since the day you did it." "Why didn't you say anything?" "Because you taught me something valuable," I said. "You showed me that I was so focused on having the perfect traditional wedding that I almost missed having my perfect wedding. Thanks to you, I married the love of my life on a cliff overlooking the ocean, surrounded by people who actually love us, not just our open bar." "I'll never forgive you for this," she hissed. "That's okay," I said. "I forgive you. Your wedding disaster gave me the push I needed to have something extraordinary instead of just expensive." She hung up. We haven't spoken since, which honestly improved every family gathering. The best part? The Willowbrook Estate called me a month later. They'd reviewed the security footage and phone records after Elena complained. They'd discovered the deception and wanted to apologize. They offered me a full refund and a free anniversary party. I declined. "I ended up exactly where I was supposed to be," I told them. "But maybe check ID next time someone changes a booking?" Marcus and I just celebrated our first anniversary. We went back to Monterey to that same beach. As we watched the sunset, he asked if I had any regrets about how everything went down. "Just one," I admitted. "What's that?" I wish I could have seen her face when the pet photographer asked her to meow. He laughed so hard he nearly fell off the rocks. "You're diabolical. You knew that when you married me." "Best decision I ever made," he said, pulling me close. And you know what? He was right. Elena thought she was stealing my dream wedding. Instead, she freed me to have something better, a wedding that was actually about Marcus and me, not about impressing people or following traditions. She can keep Willowbrook with its funeral flowers and taco truck. I'll take the ocean, the cliff house, and the man who helped me turn disaster into triumph. Though I do still wonder if she ever meowed for that photographer. Some mysteries are better